Welcome in to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered here by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Wednesday morning. Good to have you with us. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button. Going to talk some New Orleans Saints with our guy, Ross Jackson, coming up here at 8:15 this morning. Locked On Saints podcast, as you can catch them anywhere you catch your podcast at. Great information as always on the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk to you about OTAs. First time he saw Tyrann Mathieu in a Saints uniform. We'll ask him what Mathieu can do to that defense and what they may have learned.
He's great. I love
during
him.
off-season training activities. Ross?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Check out the podcast. Yeah, he is. Well, that's the purpose, bro. That's the point. Surround yourself with people a lot smarter than you are.
That is right.
And I think that we do that every day here on the Jordy Culotta Show podcast. Adam Miller, speaking of, very heady play by Miller, coming back to Baton Rouge for another season of basketball here. Hopefully going to stay healthy and get on the floor here, as everybody's been anticipating seeing this top-notch scorer that transferred in from Illinois a couple of years ago. Of course, had the tough knee injury to start training camp last season. Never was able to get on the wood last year, and all the adversity in LSU basketball. He's coming back to play for Matt McMahon. We'll ask him why coming up here at 8 a.m. as Miller's going to be in studio with us here on this Wednesday morning. Looking forward to talking to the Ace Wolf, coming up here at 8:15. As always, we are brought to you by Go Chevrolet, our friends over at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Stop in and see Nick Richard, Lee Carney, and the entire crew wherever you may be. Laplace, Louisiana, if you're looking for brand new cars. Down in Baton Rouge for used cars at Go Express Auto Sales. Easy to find them on Florida Boulevard and Sherwood Forest. Stop in and see them. They're always online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. And our phone line, Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions. Charles Harvey and Jason Ramazan. Shout out to our crew over there at Metropolitan Health Group who brings you our phone line today. Ross Jackson going to check in 8:15 this morning on that phone line as we get you set up for another day here in sports. Another quiet day, as we learned yesterday that LSU, we were talking and reacting to LSU's regional bid going to Hattiesburg. We talked a lot about that. Obviously, Mikey Matuk and Mic'd Up going to be here at 11 o'clock this morning talking more LSU baseball and more of the selections as LSU baseball off to Southern Miss's campus for this weekend. NBA Finals start tomorrow night. But everybody was talking about a seating chart down in Sandestin yesterday between a bunch of millionaires, 14 of them, SEC football coaches. Spring meetings happening down there in Sandestin, and we'll talk all about that to start the show. The Carpool Queen is here. Lloyd is here. Call sign Lizzie.
Jester.
Jester. Is he still in the movie?
No, he didn't make it.
He was a prick in the first one.
He was.
He was a prick.
He was a prick.
He got cucked by Tom.
Yeah.
The first one.
Stewie is here. Bree and Jamil, of course, are here as well. And we got a full house. Ace Miller will be through here at 8 a.m.
You are?
A little rough over here.
We went through some changes yesterday.
I thought I lost the vanity with my last producer, bro.
Man, look, it's looking rough back here.
You have a double chin?
No double chins. Just looking a little rough. A little too close to the camera.
Yeah, well, Jordy was trying to tell me I'm going bald, so I wore a hat today.
That was awesome. We really had you.
Overcompensated with that hat,
I
buddy.
did.
That
Well,
one
I saw the
comment
movie.
really did it.
Yeah.
You're like in the mirror, like, what?
Get rid of my widow's
Is this
peak.
receding?
Old
So-
Peyton Manning over there.
So
Manning cast.
Lloyd's going bald, and I have a gray beard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jordy's
The
aging
g-
everyone.
from the guy with the gray beard going bald.
I feel like I'm aging by the minute.
Jordy's not
Tough.
catching any smoke. We need.
Bring it. I deserve it.
Well, you're on Tiger droppings yesterday. They
Oh,
think
really?
they think you're one of the swingers in the.
What is this news with these media swingers?
I don't
What is
know.
everybody talking about?
Yeah.
They said they were talking about LSU local media and who's a swinger. And
What?
you were first one.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
first pick.
Swing and a miss on the first one.
That's awesome.
Not me.
Not me. Not that guy, pal.
Yeah, right.
Shake my hand.
What do
Lizzie, tell me
people
about
get?
Top Gun.
Unbelievable. Absolutely worth going to the theater for. It feels like movies are back. Tom made sure of
Nice.
that. Like, before the movie even starts, he comes on the screen, and it's like he's there. And he thanks us for going to the movie to go see and supporting the local movie industry. The whole thing is about Tom Cruise. Like, don't
As it
get
should
it
be.
twisted. Yes, it is all about Maverick, but it is awesome. It is so much fun. The seats,
Oh, wow.
the vibrations
Wow.
of the cars, and
Just
the
because
planes.
it's so loud.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
you
it
were in
was an
IMAX.
absolute experience. Yeah, it was so much fun though. Like the whole time after we all got out, we all left, And we're like, I think I should have been a fighter pilot. Like, it made you want to be
Wow.
a Top Gun. So totally worth going to check out.
I love how Stewie was like, I'm too blind. That's the only reason why I'm not a
Yep.
fighter
Yeah,
pilot.
Tell you.
Like, that's the
Tell
only
you.
reason.
I can't see shit. But guess
love
what?
that
If
that's
I could
the
fly a
reason,
plane,
though.
I'd go fly a plane.
That was kind of the sentiment of the first one. I mean, it made you it left the theater wanting to be like a fighter pilot.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
do this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. It's like they did exactly what the movie was set out to do, where you leave the theater having the experience of, damn, I wish I was doing that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I guess the movie was kind of set out for. Very sentimental too. A lot of callbacks to the original Top Gun. No love scene, no weird kissing.
Any inverts?
But yeah,
Any inverts? No
no
inverted?
spoilers. No spoilers.
Oh.
No spoilers.
I wanted to be Kelly McGillis.
That's a part
After
of the
that.
movie.
I don't want to be her now. I
That's
want to be
who I wanted
Tom.
to be.
Yeah.
I can't believe he looks the way he does. It's unbelievable. You
Yeah.
can't tell that he's 60 years old.
That's money.
He's drinking the richest baby blood
Yes.
in Hollywood.
He's got. Well, he's just
I mean,
umbilical cord.
He is on the top of the food chain
Top Gun.
of the weirdest of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I think that the images of him, he looks
He looks 20.
25 years old.
It's unbelievable.
And
So
he's 60.
he's
59.
60, 59.
Wow.
But he is like they do a little bit of a callback. They're not playing volleyball; they're playing football on the beach, of course. And he's in the jeans and no shirt, and you're like, you
nice.
can't tell.
Playing with the boys.
Yeah,
What a play.
Yeah.
It's such a play, dude.
Do they
You
use
can't
that song?
tell-
Playing
Yeah,
with the
of
boys?
course.
They
They
do?
do?
Yes, there's a lot of
Wow.
good callbacks. Like it's very nostalgic,
Oh.
but you can't tell that Tom Cruise is the oldest one out there. He looks.
Bruckenheimer
He
the
fits in.
producer?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta go see it.
Golly, man.
It hits all the high notes. I'm telling you, except for the sex scene. There's no sex scene.
There's not one.
Tough.
Jeez.
Tough. I know.
Every movie needs a sex scene. Of some sort, or some kind of romance, right?
Sure,
There's
Katie.
nothing like that.
Yeah.
Not even like a hot makeout or anything.
No.
Well,
I don't- they
there's-
couldn't
there's
bring
no
the-
love interest.
No. Well, they couldn't bring the girl back because she's
Yeah, right.
aged normally, and Tom has not.
Well, I mean, at this
She's
point,
older
Tom
than him, too.
would be banging the daughter.
Yeah.
think.
That's right.
She works at the bar.
Yes,
Yes, she does.
Wow, I
That's
feel like
the
I could have
daughter?
written this.
Yet I was like quoting the movie while in the theater. I was like, I bet they're about like it's cheesy a little bit.
Very
you know?
predictable.
It's
Gotta
very
be.
on the nose.
Yeah.
But it is awesome. So much fun.
Okay, I gotta. You've sold.
Sold.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see it.
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting on it to come on a streaming service.
No,
so I watch it
this
from
is
my-
a big theater movie. Like
Okay.
that was half the fun. Was like the experience of it all. The
Yeah.
IMAX and doing all that stuff was part of why I think it was so good.
Yeah.
Like if you just watched it at home, it wouldn't be the same.
Right.
I mean, you bought a hat.
I did. But
Yeah.
I bought it after I watched the first one.
So they were selling merchandise. in
No,
the
no,
theater?
ordered it
I
from
bought this on
eBay.
eBay.
I wore it last night.
Before I went to Las
thing.
Vegas, yeah. I watched the first one right before I left, and then I watched because I thought I might come back and see the new one. And
What
Better
does the
first or second
underneath
one?
say? Does it say Tomcat under there? Under the bill of your hat?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's
This
fire.
guy.
Cruise.
But
Which one was better, first or second?
first one is you kind of have to see the first one to like the second one. Like it sets the scene, it makes sense. If you just saw the second one, you'd be like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But if you've seen the first one, then it all makes sense. You're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
It's more of it's just an experience.
Sure.
Like there's no real story. I don't know who they're fighting. I don't know I don't know who the bogeys are.
I never really understood that in the first one either, so.
But
No,
neither-
they didn't spell it out.
yeah,
Yeah,
they don't
they
want to.
They didn't want to touch the Cold War.
They just had really dark visors
Right.
on their
And
helmets,
red
and they were
stars. With
scary.
the red
yeah.
star.
Right.
I just assumed they were Russian.
Wow, look at you, starting a war.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna get.
Oh, now
spammed
here come
that
the
I
bots
said
in the
Russian.
chat.
Exactly. They're coming now.
All right,
Red face.
SEC spring meetings yesterday was the buzz of the sports world. Everybody was talking about the seating chart and where everybody was seating. Why was Jimbo Fisher sitting next to Greg Sankey at the front of the table? Everybody thought he was being punished. He's actually the chairman of the committee, of the coaches committee this year, and that's the spot that he sits in. A lot of Real Housewives of the SEC yesterday coming out and talking about the gossip of SEC coaches meetings over there. Alabama's Nick Saban did take to the podium and answer a couple of questions, and obviously he was asked immediately about his relationship and some of the comments that he made about Jimbo Fisher a couple of weeks ago. And Saban responded, I didn't really say that anybody did anything wrong. I've said everything I'm going to say about this. I should have never mentioned any individual institutions, as I've said before. Saban later apologized, calling out specific institutions, as you remember a couple of weeks back when he said that when he mentioned that Texas A&M had bought their class, and that Deion Sanders and Jackson State had paid $1 million for Travis Hunter, who was the number one recruit in the country out of Florida, who was expected to go to Tallahassee. Outside of that, nothing too eventful. I think that everybody was hoping that something was going to pop out of this meeting, that there was going to be some type of storyline, but I believe that Greg Sankey really kind of laid the law down after all this stuff really started to simmer a couple of weeks back and started to boil over. That, look, no more of this. This is not going to stand. This is not going to last while everybody in media and all of the fan bases all are chewing on it and loving it and can't get enough of it. You can tell that the SEC, the organization behind closed doors and through a couple of phone calls before they even got to Sandestin yesterday, really just put the cap on this. No more. It's obvious how people feel. It's obvious that there's a lot more questions than there are answers right now around NIL, recruiting, how it's being organized, how it's being ruled and regulated. All of that stuff has concerns at the highest level. And, Fisher and Saban, while, for people like us, is incredible to see them go back and forth. For the league and from the standpoint of public relations of the league, it's not going to stand. It's not going to last. And I think Greg Sankey was quick to put, the cap on that. And Lane Kiffin is talking, obviously, yesterday as he was asked yesterday about the coaches' meetings. And Lane Kiffin said, I guess the best way to describe it is our group is more professional in the room than they are when they're on camera by themselves. It's like where people might say one thing on text where they wouldn't in person.
It's just like that.
Lane Kiffin, read between the lines, Lane.
Right. I think Kiffin is, as we said, is going to take every opportunity to put his name, put his program around anything that can create any buzz for them, because that's the type of recruiting methods that they need at Ole Miss when you're going up against Georgia, LSU, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Florida. You've got to play some games, and you got to be loud. You got to make your presence known. And I think that Lane Kiffin saw an opportunity here to really kind of jump aboard and figure it out and try and put himself in the middle of all of this drama within the SEC. But I think that this is probably the last time that we'll hear about this stuff. We'll continue to talk about it. Talking heads will continue to talk about it. But I think that's the last time that you'll see something like that in public. You saw Jimbo Fisher didn't even make a statement yesterday publicly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think that's either probably Sankey or that's probably his own team at Texas A&M saying, all right, enough.
Yeah.
You said what you had to say. And like we've speculated, I'd imagine that there's portions of that press conference that Jimbo would probably like to have back.
Yeah,
that was very emotional.
It was too emotional. It was as if, hey man, did you hear what he said? No, what'd he say? Put me in front of a microphone. It was like, whoa, take a deep breath.
Slept on it.
Take a deep breath.
He showed how much stroke he has at A&M, though, to be able to get that done.
Absolutely.
And they were probably
Yeah.
like,
The first thing we said when we were watching it is this is the luxury of a 10-year contract.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is job security
comfortable.
right here.
Yeah.
To be able to call that press conference and, just swing those words.
It was awesome, though. I'm glad
it
happened.
we're all glad it happened, and it gives you a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
No love lost.
None. Mm-hmm. And I think that it really kind of put into perspective just how fake their relationship was up to that point, right? I remember watching the 2019 National Championship game in New Orleans with Clemson and LSU and looking down on the sideline and seeing Saban and Fisher stand right next to each other for the entire game. They were down there. I believe that they were like on the desk, on the set of the coverage of the game, right? Like together, like almost as analysts.
Oh, they did like the coaches show thing?
And they stood down there and watched the game together. And it looked like they really, have – and who's to say why they wouldn't? They had coached together for an amount of time. And I mean, that was Saban's. I want to say it was like his first or second hire at LSU. I think he hired Rick Trickett, the offensive line coach, and then he hired Jimbo Fisher.
Where was Jimbo before LSU?
Auburn. It's a quarterback's coach. You might want to check me on that, but I believe he was the quarterback's coach at Auburn before he got the offensive coordinator job at LSU.
But they had a fine relationship, right?
Yeah, I mean,
point.
it seems like.
Well,
but everybody that you talk to that played for them, I mean, we've got people that come through here all the time that played for them, and Rohan's a great resource for us, and his show Where My Dog's At will be on tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Jamil's handling the social media. Make sure the easiest way to get there is just go to the Instagram, search Where My Dog's At on Instagram, and there's a link tree there so you can subscribe to everything: the YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram, all there. In one spot. Is that Saban, one thing that you learn is that Saban he was at Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. One thing that you learn about Saban is that he is, and especially during this time while he was a coach, it's probably changed now that he's got so much clout and so much stability, is that he treated his offensive guys differently, right? Like, I mean, he would walk all over Will Muschamp. He would walk all over Kirby Smart. He would walk all over those guys because those guys had to have him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, they were defensive-minded coaches. They were learning his scheme. They all wanted to be head coaches, but they needed to learn how to run one side of the ball before they could get that job. And they needed to learn from Saban how to run defense. So, I mean, Saban could pretty much treat them however he wanted to. And I mean, not to say that, Saban, walks all over, but I mean, he will berate you in public. He will berate you in front of your peers. He will talk down to you in a setting that can be very embarrassing to a established coach. To the offensive staff, he's got to have you. You don't have to have him, right? Like, I mean, at that time, I mean, Jimbo, Rohan, Josh Reed, all those guys, they were putting up electric numbers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they were scoring points. They were moving the football. They were a high-powered offense
before offense.
They were a little ahead of their time. Mm-hmm. And, obviously they had great talent, and Rohan had to offer was
on the table.
Was right there for Jimbo for Rohan to had to offer was
on the table.
Was right there for Jimbo for Rohan to take. So, I mean, at that point, I mean, the practice field would become very contentious between Saban and Fisher. Because Fisher would light their ass up on defense, and he'd let you know about it, right? And when Saban and his crew would stop them, they'd talk as much spot, they would go back and forth. And the one thing that all of them will tell you about Jimbo is that he never backed down from Saban. Like, he never stood down to Saban. He always tried to either have the last word or just let everybody know that this guy doesn't scare me. Like, he doesn't intimidate me at all. And I thought more last week he kind of looked like that probably than he ever has. Yeah. He let that in and kind of affect him more than he probably would have wanted to give you a practice field revision of what it really would look like. Like the kind of like what we heard in the office with him telling Rohan. Yeah. I mean, I think that he really would have publicly liked to have said that. Yeah. Like, this guy doesn't scare me. Like, F that little guy. Right. You know what I mean? If I ever see him in public without security, I'll beat his little ass.
It's on site.
You know what I mean? Like, that's probably how. Yeah. I mean, like, those back and forths in the practice field was a lot of F you, F you, F you. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck you, short guy.
Yeah, right. Like,
run it back.
We're coming at you all day.
Yeah.
All day. You know what I mean? And if we get you, we're gonna let you know about it. And I think that Lane Kiffin had a little bit that with Saban. For sure. I mean, Lane Kiffin had a little bit of, I'm going to do what I want. Yeah. You know what I mean? And once he crossed the line when he kind of went into the booster world, you know what I mean? And started, kind of having fun in that world and that was it. You know what I mean? Once he really just started messing with the business of Alabama football, he was done. But, I mean, up until then, Saban, I mean, there's stories about him and those coaches, like showing up a little late for meetings, showing up a little hungover, for game days. You know what I mean? Stuff that you're like, this little son of a bitch. You know what I mean? But I can't do anything.
First play touchdown.
Yeah, right.
And he's calling it, dude.
He's teaching you how to run the spread offense.
Yes.
He
needed him.
He's teaching you how to evolve. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, he's got his hand and his thumb all over Kirby Smart. You You know what I mean? Like making sure if he's not 15 minutes early for a meeting, he's late. You know what I mean? Like if he's not subbing in everybody at the right time on the right down and distance, he's on his ass. You know what I mean? In film room, he's lighting them up about things that didn't go well and not complimenting them on anything that did go well. I mean, he's just going to make sure that you understand it's his operation from an offensive standpoint. He's kind of at the mercy of who he hires. And Jimbo was the first one that ever really kind of looked down at him and said, hey, man, I'm not scared. I'm going to be successful in this industry.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I'm going to be a head coach, and I know that.
Yeah.
So I don't really need you to get there.
Right.
You know, Will Muschamp needs you. Kirby Smart has to have you, right? I mean, we've seen it. Jim McElwain went on to become a head coach at the University of Florida. Lane Kiffin's gone on to become a head coach at Ole Miss. Jimbo Fisher went on to become a head coach at Florida. All of his offensive guys have gone on to success in the trade, right? So, you know, I mean, I think that's a little bit of it. I saw Glenn Gilbo was like tweeting out, like, I mean, almost like a play-by-play of like the day. Like, I mean, he one of his tweets, he's like, I'm standing in the cafe. Jimbo Fisher was standing at the line. Nick Saban walked behind him. He never saw him because he had his back turned the whole time. I mean, it was like
waiting for something to happen.
God, like, bro, this is too much.
That's
I
weird.
mean, like the Real Housewives stuff is just like, you're not going to get it anymore. Like, we're not going to get any of that anymore.
No,
you know what I mean?
that was
even October 8th for the game. They're not
they
even.
put the
They're
kibosh
not
on
gonna,
it.
Yeah, like it's going to be a handshake at the 50. They're going to go to their separate sidelines. They're going to play the game. Whoever wins and loses after, they're going to be pegged, asked, what happened with the comments. We've talked about this. Next
Right.
question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be.
And I feel like SEC Media Day will be the same way. Like, there's not going to be fireworks that we kind of want, I guess, to see from those two. I feel like it's going to be Sankey put the kibosh on it. He was like, we're not doing this anymore. But I wish that he wouldn't have.
I know,
it's kind of good for football. It's kind of good for college football because there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well, I mean, that's
as much
why
as-
you see college football taking the story.
Right.
They're trying to run with it.
Yeah.
and as much as you want to talk about like NIL and transfer portal, and as dirty as that may seem, like this is at least a
coach rivalry. There's
yeah,
nothing more
it's a
exciting.
different storyline. You know, it makes college football kind of fun again.
Yes.
Well,
it
this
does.
isn't a coach rivalry. This is like the two heavyweights.
Well,
Yeah, this is
yeah.
a bro-
This,
this is
this isn't
Big
Pat
Brother, Little
Narduzzi
Brother.
and Lincoln Riley.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
that kind of like that fell out of the news wire pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban will stay in the news wire until they play on October 8th. Every single week you will see some type of reference on some pregame show about what happened 2 weeks ago in the SEC. I mean, it's just it's too much. There's too much cachet with their names. They're just the two, and it would be anybody with Saban. Saban could square off against
We've never done this before.
anyone,
But
right?
it's good that it's Jimbo. That makes it more
and
exciting.
The fact that it's Jimbo
Yeah.
makes it even more like just salacious.
Yeah.
This
You know
is
what I mean? It's
TMZ.
just like,
Yeah.
jeez, bro.
It is.
I mean, like this was his dude.
Yeah.
You know, like I always thought like internally, like they probably don't like vacation together, but they definitely probably text.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they don't text.
Yeah.
Like they don't text. Like, I mean,
God, it's weird.
because Jimbo didn't wake up 2 Thursdays ago feeling like that over one comment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
This is
He's
a
been
long
one
waiting.
time
comment
coming.
is not going to trigger you
Right.
to get up to have your top lip quivering when I got 100 million guaranteed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I know I got probably as good a football team as you do.
Right.
I mean, he knows that, hey,
Yeah,
man,
he does.
y'all can talk all y'all want, but my roster
Yes.
is starting to stack up
Yeah.
with LSU and Alabama. They still got to win the game. They still got to show up, and I know that you can't spell Texas A&M without 8-4. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like you still got to go show up and win the game. But they're now pulling up with a lot of the cats that look similar to the opposite sideline.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's really about what they got in the trenches. It's really about the defensive and offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the bulk of those 5 stars that they got coming in are right there on that portion of the football field. They've always had skill. You know what I mean? They've always had Vaughn Miller coming off the edge. They've always had somebody, Ryan Tannehill, that'll be, you know, a high draft
Myles
pick,
Garrett.
Mike Evans, Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? They'll always have those types of players. Where Texas A&M is making the biggest move, in my opinion, is on the line of scrimmage, and that's where Alabama kicks your ass because they just come at you in waves, tides. You know what I mean? Like they just come at you in. There's so much depth, and Texas A&M is building. That's why I you can't overlook LSU this year, in my opinion, is because they've got a defensive line that can keep them in every game if they stay healthy. They've got numbers, they've got high-end talent, and they've got cats that, man, you better show up every Saturday because they got 3, 4, maybe even 5 NFL guys on that. I mean, when all these classifications, go. I mean, Quincy's a pro.
Right.
He's a freshman pro. You know what I mean? He'll probably just play on third downs, and you just say, man, just go out there and run fast and hit the ball. But at some point, he's going to be an NFL player. And Ali Gay, B.J. Ojolari, Jaquelin Roy, Mason Smith, all those cats are NFL guys. Who's to say that, our guy Mingo isn't the defensive lineman that transferred from Missouri?
Yeah,
I mean,
SEC freshman All-American? But we should on Ed Orgeron a little bit, like, for what he did at LSU and how it ended. But you cannot say he didn't build depth on the defensive line because look at what happened in 2018. When LSU played Alabama, you could see there was a stark difference when Alabama came to Baton Rouge. Like, LSU didn't have a chance. Yeah. And then he flipped it around in 2019 just like that to be able to – he built up those two sides of the ball because you could see the difference. Like, having the ability to put people on the line of scrimmage like that and come at you in waves like Alabama was able to do. Like, Joe Burrow couldn't get a snap off. And then you see in 2019 where LSU was the one that's actually, like, bringing the fight to you. Edo did a good job of bringing talent into LSU. It was just a matter of everything else. So they still are deep on the defensive line, and that's the first thing he said he was going to do. And he's held up to that promise.
Not only that, I think that they have hired a true elite defensive line coach in Jamar Cain. I mean, I think that they have gone out. He's a stud, man, and he is.
You could put him back.
But I mean, as far as on the trail, I think that the return on him, and this has been the biggest national reach I think we've seen from a position group go out and really get attention that LSU's kind of pulling back to Baton Rouge. I know that the defensive backfield has pulled some guys out of the East Coast and the West Coast and kind of all over the country, but this defensive line group that Jamar Cain is putting together, I think is going to be a really special class. I think that Jamar Cain is as good of a coach from an on-the-field development and a recruiter that they have on the staff. And everyone that you talk to within that system, there's always a couple of names that always pop, right? Robert Steeple's name comes out all the time. I mean, we've talked about that. Steeple's name consistently comes up if you talk to recruits, if you talk to support staff, if you talk to staff in-house. A lot of people mention Jamar Cain the same way. Like, I mean, a lot of people talk about his influence on what he's, immediately done. I mean, like, as far as a football program goes, this staff is still honeymooning. You know what I mean? Like, you're still kind of, a lot of them hadn't made their way off of campus yet. It's some of them are still, curious about what restaurants they should go to and eat in town. I mean, they've been so, in the cocoon of football that you're still kind of fresh to the area and fresh to the school. So I think Jamar Cain's an ace. I think that their defensive line is going to be great. And like I said, that to me is what Jimbo has put an emphasis on, making Texas A&M legitimate. Texas A&M I've never taken Texas A&M serious because I've always thought that LSU could control the line of scrimmage against Texas A&M. Always. Even when LSU was down, I always thought that they had better players in the trenches than A&M did. And now the gap is closing and starting to, become equal. And if you keep and the deal is that this stuff is not going to be regulated by February, by next recruiting cycle.
They're going to do it again.
He's going to do it again. He's about to put 6 more in the boat again.
It's insane.
Right? I mean, you're going to look up, they've signed 5 5-stars over the last 6 classes. You're going to look up over the next year, we're going to talk about over the last 2, they signed 12. Maybe more. I mean, like, who's this? If I was an A&M collective booster, football groupie, whatever you want to call it over there in A&M,
member.
whatever it is.
Cuckold.
You know what I mean? Those comments by Saban would spur me to write the check even bigger.
Yeah.
Like I would tell Jimbo, I want 25 5-stars.
Mm-hmm.
I want the number one player at every position. You think that pissed him off last year, what we did? I want to really piss him off. Every player that he wants, tell me. Tell me every position player that's at the top of his board. His number one DB, his number one defensive tackle, his number one wide receiver, his number one quarterback, running back, tight end, all of them. Give me the list of the players he wants, and we will present them with a business plan that they cannot say no to. And watch that cat freak out. Watch him go absolutely ballistic. And if I was an A&M supporter and I had the cash that they got, and I was one of the big dogs that Jimbo comes to, I'd say, hey, Jimbo, man, name the price. Tell me who you want. Better yet, tell me everybody he wants.
Yeah.
Because if you can't win on the field, this is a great way to at least, needle him.
Mm-hmm.
Because
look what it does to him.
Look what it does to him.
Yeah.
Because Nick Saban has always won the recruiting trail.
Yep.
Always. And he did this the same thing whenever offenses started to change and people were going, teams started to go fast, and he started bitching about, we can't have offenses like this. Instead of, he went to the media. Whenever Nick Saban doesn't get his way,
exactly,
he lets the world know.
Bitch about it.
He is, but he knows that moves the needle.
Yeah,
that makes the SEC at least put on notice.
Yeah,
and whenever the offenses started to change, instead of really bitching about it, he did, but then he adapted.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't know. He's a little bit behind the eight ball
Yeah.
because Jimbo was first to the table for NIL.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what they tweeted out whenever Jimbo at A&M, 2018, 0 5 stars. 2019, 2 5 stars. 2020, 2 5 stars. 2021, 1 5 star. 2022 with NIL, 7.
Exactly.
It's easy to point to see what's happening,
Yeah.
and Nick Saban's just a little bit behind because he's always been able to win the recruiting war.
Right.
He's selling national championships. Now Jimbo's just selling money. Mm-hmm. Come here, come get paid.
Yeah.
Everybody likes money.
Everybody likes money.
Fresh Chef Kitchen. Remember our guy over there, Chef Shane, who dropped off our latest delivery yesterday over here at FM Digital Media Studios. We're set for the week. If you want to get your meals prepared from a professional chef,
Bree's over there chewing.
Fresh Chef Kitchen. Yes, eat up, man. They're fantastic. We're gonna make a promotional video today about what's going on at Fresh Chef Kitchen. But easy, hit them on Facebook. They got a great website that you can find out more at freshchefeats.com. That is freshchefeats.com to keep up with the latest. And it's easy, man. If you're looking to get out in front of your meal preparation, if you're busy on the go, if you're in the office working like we are, I can't tell you how convenient it is to have Fresh Chef Eats and Fresh Chef Kitchen dropping off our meals prepared each week. We fly through them, and they're really good. I mean, they are really good, fresh, as the title says, the name of the company, very healthy. And it's made with passion. Shane and his crew love food. They put their heart and soul into it, and we appreciate that. Find out for yourself online, Fresh Chef Eats, freshchefeats.com, on Facebook. They got a storefront over on Airline Highway that you can find out more, but easy, just really online, man. freshchefeats.com, freshchefeats.com.
I've been in there though. People roll in there and take big, you can get big family size portions like rice, chicken, things like that. Take it home. Kids can eat out of it for like a week. Heat it up. It's awesome.
Peak season, dude.
Hughes Bowden at Jordy. How many of those 5 stars transfer out of Texas A&M? I don't know that now. I don't know. I'd imagine that they are going to run into something that happens around playing time and around promises or around things that have been sold in recruiting that are not going to play out. Just if you play the numbers and, the sport alone in football, it's so unpredictable. You know what I mean? In the sense of, you can think that this is going to be the guy, but then you show up and somebody's been weight training all off season. Somebody's been motivated by somebody paying another player to come to Texas A&M to take their position. And at the end of it, Jimbo's still got to play the better player. He's still got to play the best guy to win the game. Now, I don't know how they're going to manage the locker room. And I think that that's going to be the biggest hill that they're going to have to overcome the biggest mountain that they're going to have to climb to me in NIL is managing the personalities and managing the locker room. I mean, Texas A&M's locker room, for all intents and purposes now, is an NFL locker room. You are managing salary, you're managing expectations, you're managing contracts. You know, I mean, I know that these contracts are written, or, you know, not contracts, but the deals that are made, I guess contractually. You know, you can't just up and leave Texas A&M after somebody's been paying you, right? I mean, like, these are all smart business people that are doing this. You know what I mean? It's not just, you know, A&M mouth breathers that just want to get the best football players in. I mean, they're putting up all the money, but it's with an understanding of, hey, you're either finishing your eligibility or you commit 3 years to Texas A&M. If you don't, here's the penalty for leaving. I mean, all that stuff is
with that kind of money,
written out. It's like our guy Gordon, man. You know, I mean, Gordon is an NIL soldier for LSU, right? I mean,
get it done.
Absolutely. But let me tell you who Gordon is protecting throughout this process. Gordon.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to just step up, write checks, and have people just kind of leave overnight, right? I mean, like, you're contractually bound to commitments that you have to make to the company. And I know that that's, you know, that's kind of the legal part of the process of NIL, but, you know, even deeper than that, I mean, this is a business deal for these guys, right? Like, you're entering an agreement with a corporation, an individual, an entity that you're going to be held accountable for. So I think that they are going to have to, they will, Hughes, they'll deal with it. They're going to have to, there will be fallout and there will be transfers out. But I don't know, you know, kind of behind the scenes how that stuff's going to, like, I mean, say Jacoby Matthews, big what if. And look, for Matthews' standpoint, I hope he has a great college experience. I hope that it works out wherever he finishes, right? If it's at Texas A&M, awesome. If he transfers somewhere else, hopefully that's the best decision for him. If he comes back to LSU, that would be great to see him in the purple and gold from a selfish point of view. But look, he's where he is now, and hopefully it works out. Let's say he comes back to LSU, and he's got a deal in place right now with Texas A&M. Would somebody have to step up from a Baton Rouge business community or an LSU booster and buy that contract out? You know, I mean, like, what if the Texas A&M collective says, hey, hold up, Jacoby, you can't leave without paying out whatever you've been paid, or whatever whatever it is, whatever the terms of the deal says. If you leave before your eligibility expires, you owe the collective X. Who's paying that? And what if the school that he transfers to steps up and makes that payment? Is that legal? How else is it going to happen? I mean, these are, I don't know. I don't know, but it's about to happen. I mean, somebody with an NIL deal, whether they're at Texas A&M, LSU, Arkansas, or Georgia, is about to say, I want out. And I don't know how it works. I mean, I don't know if, you know, I mean, if somebody with a current NIL deal says, look, I'm transferring to X school, what happens to that deal? Where does the money that's already been paid out, what happens there?
I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg with NIL.
Yeah,
this is the first year we're seeing it. It's going to be exactly like you said. There's going to be other deals in place, whether it be to get a player out of a school that they're already in or to buy somebody out. Since there's no rules, there's no rules.
Right.
Like, they're going to be able to, I would imagine that you can go, if you're Gordon McKernan and you want to get a Jacoby Matthews, you're still talking to him every single day because you have the transfer portal. You have the ability to go get a guy at a different school, hop in the portal, doesn't have to sit out a year, and you can pay him. And who's to say you can't? All right, what, you have a 3-year deal at A&M? We'll buy that off, and here's another deal at LSU. You wanted to be here anyway. You want to stay at home. Perfect. Like, there's no stopping that yet.
Right.
There's no reason that you can't do it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is. It's wild, man.
It is wild.
It really is. And I don't,
But we'll see all that come to fruition. Like this year, it's continued to evolve.
Yeah.
The longer and further it goes without regulation, the more convoluted and confusing it's going to become for everybody. And it's going to really and truly, this is what has spawned this Wild Wild West, is that you give people with passion and money the opportunity to play with no rules. Right? Like, I mean, like, or you've got to follow some state legislation that's kind of open for interpretation, right? Like, I mean, nobody's really holding you accountable to the letter of the law of the first NIL bill that's been filed in each of these states, right? Like, I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, we just paid him. So, I mean, I'm telling you, Jimbo's about to stack. He's about to stack another 7 of them.
I'm
8
still
of them,
excited for
9
October
of them.
8th, and I still want to go. I think it's still going to be amazing.
Oh, no doubt it's going to be a great game. You know, but you're
in
not going to get
Tuscaloosa?
the.
It's at Alabama.
Is that Alabama?
Yeah, it's in Tuscaloosa.
Ooh.
It's a great college
get the
football.
light show ready.
It's a great
I know.
college football day.
Hold up.
Yeah.
The reason I think Alabama is gonna beat them really badly is because Texas A&M has a new quarterback.
That's
Nick
the reason.
Saban flourishes against new quarterbacks. I just don't think they'll be ready.
By October 8th, he's gone through the month of September. He's not as
Coach,
much new. And look,
I don't
man,
know,
that
man.
might be Max
Is
Johnson.
it going to be Max Johnson? Yeah, Steady
That would
Eddie.
be crazy.
Max Johnson against Will Anderson. You pick.
Oof. I mean, and
Will Anderson against everybody.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I think
they held out the spring game.
Yeah,
He,
because they couldn't get anything done.
He wrecked the thing.
Couldn't block him.
I mean, you couldn't get your own team better.
Yeah, we're not getting anything done today.
You know what, Will? Go sit down.
Right now, they've got the projected first and second pick in the draft with Will Anderson and Bryce Young. Even though I don't know how good of a quarterback Young is going to be in the NFL. I mean, he's...
Ooh, disagree. I think he's a stud.
Yeah, I was
I
about to
think
say.
he's a stud, but I mean, he's not big.
No.
You know what I mean? Like he's
Sinewy.
not a big dude.
He is sinewy.
Right? Like, I mean, and I know that the position you don't have to be, but he's not Kyler Murray. You know what I mean? He can't move like Kyler Murray. I mean, like if you're smaller in stature, you got to have something that you can compensate to get away from 6'5", 280 running at you at 4'4". You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah, I'm with you.
At some point, the physics of it is just going to murder you, right? But look, Bryce Young is a player. Bryce Young has got a hose. Bryce Young is
I think he's
dropping
up
back
I think it's
behind
up
an
here.
offensive line the last 2 years that have kept him really clean. You know what I mean? And he is throwing to wide receivers that are
Open.
open
and their first-round picks.
and they're pros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm
It's
not,
the Tua scenario.
He's doing the job. He's doing the work. He's completing the passes. But have we seen him play under a lot of adversity yet? Outside of the national championship game?
I would say
when
LSU.
he became very pedestrian, I thought. You know what I mean? And LSU had a great plan on him.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was
Make you beat us.
I'm just saying that Bryce Young as the projected second overall pick is a little bit of a reach for me right now. Is he a first round pick? Makes a lot of sense. Second pick in the draft. Once the NFL draft order comes out, I am mailing the draft card to Roger Goodell that we're taking Will Anderson. I don't care what my position of need is. I don't care what team I am.
I want that guy.
I'm getting Will Anderson.
Give me the guy that can rush
Absolutely.
the passer.
Give me the
4-4.
most hell-raising player in college football. I want that guy, and I want him now.
They would've
Especially with
taken him this year if
Look,
they
what-
could've.
look who was drafted number 1. I mean, a guy you've never heard of because he might be able to come off the edge.
He might be Will Anderson.
You know what I mean? Like, he might be able to do that. Will Anderson is doing that.
Yeah, he would have gone one this year. But
so-
I think with Young, I mean, he was a redshirt freshman that wins the Heisman in Alabama's offense under a first-year coordinator with Bill O'Brien. Like, he's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's going to come back. I think he's going to. What we saw last year was impressive. He's about to be a stalwart in what you see in college football. He's going to be the face, I would imagine, this year. Like, he's so consistently good already because he's got it up here. He's been planning to be a quarterback his entire life. Like, his dad raised him to do this. It's going to be a movie whenever it's going to click. Like you said with Jimbo Fisher and Rohan, at some point the lights come on. He's already been good without that happening. it's gonna move for him.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Adam Miller coming up here in a couple of minutes. We'll talk to the Ace about his decision to come back to LSU, what his expectations are for LSU basketball going into this season, and obviously going back into the transfer portal, what that recruitment was like. Remember, Daily, we were brought to you by Relief Med, our friends over at Relief Med. Find out how you can save money on medical marijuana by using the promo code Jordy1. Jordy 1 is the promo code over at Relief Med. Save yourself some money today on medical marijuana through the state of Louisiana. RELEAFmed.com. Just click on get medicated or get relief now on the website, and you will talk to a doctor. Next thing you know, you can be in a pharmacy choosing whatever you are looking for, whether it's flower, tincture, whether it is some type of vape. You can pick up all of that here at Relief Med, RELEAFmed.com, reliefmed.com, to pick up yours today. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy1, Jordy1, to save yourself money over there with Relief Med. We're going to talk some New Orleans Saints with our friend Ross Jackson coming up here at 8:15. Ross, of course, will be talking about the latest with off-season training activities with the New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston down in New Orleans. We also got our first sign and look at Chris Olave, who was the Saints' first-round wideout selection. Trevor Penning, who was the offensive line selection for the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk to Jackson about all of that coming up here at 8:15 this morning. You need or want any Saints questions asked specifically, jump inside of the chat app, hashtag AskRoss, and we will ask RJ about anything that you have specifically on the New Orleans Saints coming up here at 8:15 this morning. Make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. As we
mailbagging today?
Yeah, we need to mailbag.
We do need a mailbag.
We need to mailbag. So if you have mailbag questions, hashtag mailbag inside of the chat. We'll be looking for them, and we'll ask and answer them before we get out of here at 9 a.m. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with top of the hour. Adam Miller will be in. We will talk LSU basketball, decision to come back to Baton Rouge, and we'll be back with more here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Rouge to all sports fans was founded back in. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU bluewater.com.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Hey y'all, it's Mikey from Mic'd Up. Catch us live every Monday and Wednesday, 11 to 1. Talk gambling, talk sports, have a ton of guests in here, get a little perspective from the athlete side of it. We got Lloyd in the house, Jay Mitch is in here a lot of the time. It's a fun show, great show. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you don't like it, it's fine. Make fun of us, it's okay. Just get us out there, share us out there. We having fun, we want to share our fun with you. Like I said, Mic'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Every Monday through Wednesday, 11 to 1. Catch us live on YouTube, baby. See y'all.
Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southerneyecenters.com. That is southerneyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out, southerneyecenters.com, and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember, you can find all of their selection online at GEAUXChevrolet.com, GEAUXChevrolet.com. Adam Miller going to be coming through here in a couple of minutes. We're going to talk New Orleans Saints. Remember to get your mailbag questions in if you got them. Hashtag mailbag. We will answer the questions that you ask coming up here before we get out of here at 9 a.m. With the crew. And also, if you got Saints questions, hashtag Ask Ross, as Ross Jackson will be through here at 8:15, and we'll talk specifically about what's going on with New Orleans as Saints OTAs. Mike Thomas not working out, but in the building down in Metairie. So we'll talk to Jackson about what to expect from that wide receiver core. Chris Olave making his Saints debut on the practice field with the OTAs, and we'll ask him what that three receiver lineup potentially could be with Jarvis Landry. Obviously, Chris Olave and Mike Thomas all in now. So a lot of cool stuff going on with the Saints. Tyrann Mathieu working out, which we talked a little bit about on the way out yesterday. How good he looked in that Saints uniform and the visor, the J's.
I feel like we need to do like half Saints on this thing now.
I know, it's so good.
Or maybe we could just get a Saints one.
Maybe we could
maybe
just get a Saints one. That probably makes more sense, Dewey.
It makes a lot more sense.
Hashtag mailbag. Make sure and get your questions in. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. NBA Finals cranking up tomorrow night. We'll ask Ace who he likes. Golden State, Boston. I saw that Golden State's favored here.
I have a future on them.
Slight favorite.
Futures Lloyd strikes again.
Right.
That's right. Well, dang.
Least surprising bet of the mix here. And by the way, we will be bringing you a promo code shortly once we get it approved from our partners over at Caesars Sportsbook. We are excited to welcome aboard Caesars Sportsbook and going to start taking a play a day here on the Jordy Culotta Show. What's the bet? Going to be the name of the segment. We will be having this segment every single day here where we look at bets and lines from Caesars Sportsbook. Obviously, we're about to hit a little bit of a downtime of the sports calendar. We'll be betting NBA Finals, and I guess we'll have to transition into like into like Major League Baseball.
My God, no
Hockey's
way.
going on.
We can't talk about Major League Baseball. What would we talk about?
How many more horse races are there? Just one? Preakness? Is the Preakness?
I don't
just
even know
left?
that.
I mean,
Do they have any golf tournaments
I know
this summer,
that,
Lloyd?
Yeah, golf's around the corner. Sam Burns just won.
Sammy Burns. I love that car he got, bro.
What do you get?
Speaking of
Like a
Caesars
64. I don't know. It was
64
it's
Cutlass
awesome. It was
Supreme?
awesome.
Speaking of Caesars and betting, somebody just placed a 2K bet on Jameis Winston to win the MVP or lead the
Lead the
NFL in
NFL in passing yards.
Yes, it's plus 5,000.
That's
2K to
not
win.
bad.
That's not a bad
2K to
bet.
win 100K.
That's
Hey,
not a bad
not a
bet.
bad
Let
bet.
me going over to Caesars.com.
Not a
This
bad
guy.
bet. I mean, they got a deep threat now.
Well,
Yeah.
and look what happened whenever Pete Carmichael ran the
I
offense.
know.
They're going to sling that
I
thing.
know, he's aggressive, man. He's aggressive.
This is not, man, it's not on the
Degenerate.
wrong.
He's just
thank
waiting
you.
on it.
Hop in there, another future, bro.
That's right.
Get over to City Cafe for lunch today. CityCafeBR.net is where you can find our friends online. Keep up with the lunch day specials. They change the lunch specials every single day, including a brunch special at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning is when they open up. So stop in and see them. We're good friends meet. Over 100 years in business over at City Cafe. CityCafeBR.net. CityCafeBR.net is where you can find them online or stop in and see them on O'Neill and George O'Neill. And tell City Cafe that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. That is Cody, Dirk, and the crew. Also want to send a shout out to our yard guy, to our lawn and our crew over at A-Bears Lawn and Maintenance. They are hiring right now. So if you want to get in touch with
Sorry.
You don't want to go cut grass, Lloyd?
do
with
that
Blake
job.
Abear. If you're looking for some labor this summer and you're looking for a great business and work outside, get in touch with Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn and Maintenance. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is Blake's direct line. Get in touch with him there. Blake Abear from Abear's Lawn and Maintenance is where you can get in touch with him. And right now they're hiring.
That's some good exercise. Think about it. You'd be in excellent shape for the
Get a
summer.
great tan.
Make
Pop,
some
you
extra
pop the
cash.
top?
Not all day.
Not all. Yeah.
Not all day. I mean,
I
that's
got-
one thing about the sun and lawn maintenance, bro. You can't run from it.
Yeah.
No.
You can't hide from it.
That's a wrap the T-shirt around the head kind of job.
Yeah.
You're
You-
just out there
That's a
dying.
big
Watch the
hat
sun
kinda
come
thing.
up.
Yes. Oh.
Katie,
Oh.
nobody's wearing a big hat.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like with a net over it, probably.
I mean,
Like
that's
a
it.
beekeeper.
I think they just own it.
What am I, 50?
I'm allergic to the
Skin
sun.
cancer. It's a thing.
I mean, I just get darker. So, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. Just
Like
get a little-
super dark? Like
Yeah.
much darker?
Yes. I look Indian.
Haitian.
Yeah.
So do you wear sunscreen to stop that from
I look
happening or
like-
no?
Do black people put on sunscreen?
No, Lloyd. We don't wear sunscreen.
Just
Everyone
We
needs
just
to
thug
wear
it out.
sunscreen.
Thug it out. I don't wear sunscreen. I didn't.
You should.
Dude,
Yeah, you should.
At least on
Vegas-
your face.
Thank you. Vegas, we went. I wore a little button down whatever shirt, and I
We
still got a
saw.
tan through the shirt.
Do you have tiger stripe tan on your
I
body?
did. It was
hope
awesome.
So.
Some people liked it.
I bet they did.
Seems like it.
We heard. You freak.
Bailed out. Stick to the plan, dude. I have sciatica.
All right, we're going to talk Saints coming up here in a couple of minutes, as
Wait.
we said.
Will Anderson plus 375 to be the first overall pick next year.
Jeez.
That's a good. I mean, C.J. Stroud's number one at plus 230 and Bryce Young at plus 230, but that's a little sneaky pick.
Hey, will you go grab the ace? When we come back, we'll have Ace Wolf in studio with us, Adam Miller, talking LSU basketball. We'll be right back here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Wait, Sam Burns won a car?
Yeah, look at that car.
What the
You
hell?
want it?
The rich get richer.
Look at that car.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you daily by Morales Roll-Offs. Morales Roll-Offs provides dumpster rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Morales has roll-off dumpsters ranging from 10 yards to 40 yards to accommodate all of your disposal needs. Search online, moralesrolloffs.com.
True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Great to be joined in studio. Big news in the offseason for LSU basketball. There was a lot of people paying attention to what Adam Miller was going to do. He went back into the transfer portal. Everybody was coming after him. It came down to, it felt like LSU TCU, and he made a decision a couple of Fridays ago to stick around in Baton Rouge, and that elated the LSU basketball faithful as they are looking for, they're looking forward to a pretty good season going into the year now. When you just look at their roster, and Adam Miller, Ace Wolf, is joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show in studio. It's great to have you. Great to see you, man. Thanks for joining us.
No, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be in the boot, man. Couldn't leave just yet.
Tell me. I guess that's a great way to start. Is What was Baton Rouge like for you, I guess, when you initially went to the portal and decided to come here, and then, last year, all the adversity you faced, and then having a decision to go back into the portal and decided to come back? What was that process kind of like, and what has Baton Rouge meant to you?
Like the first time, it was COVID, so I didn't get to come see. So it really was just me taking a chance. So I took a chance with Coach Wade and coaching staff, with LSU and the team we had last year. So that's what kind of brought me here. I felt like I would have been comfortable playing with them. Kind of knew my role, knew what I had to step in and do, and just wanted to come in and be a leader. And that came a little short when I tore my ACL. But with everything that happened last year, the crazy timeline, man, there's a lot that happened. But yeah, ended up back in the portal, and shoot, that was crazy. Had my head hurting, man, but ultimately decided to stay. It came down to a lot of things, but it was really a hard decision. This was harder than probably my coming out of high school and last year being in the portal. So yeah, it was tough.
I'd imagine it was. What was the challenges this time that was the toughest part? I was thinking about your decision, but I mean, you had so much to weigh this time around.
I think, first off, every school was hitting me up at first. Mm-hmm. It was fast and slow, then fast and slow. It's like, okay, and everybody's like, okay, keep holding off. I'm like, all right. And the more longer it kept going, the more stressed out I was getting. But you know what? It is what it is. I had to do it. I felt like I had to do it. So yeah, The new coaching staff here, they re-recruited me. They did their job. They got my mom on board, got my people on board, and then TCU. And it came down to the two. Coach Dixon was my head coach for my USA basketball team, and man, you know what I'm saying. He really wanted me to come there and help that team out, help them win. They're going to be a good team next season too. Mm-hmm. They're going to be really, really good. Top 25 on dang near every big site. So it was hard making the decision, man. But ultimately now I'm like, let me trust this coaching staff, and I was like, it was kind of like I was like, dang, what do I want to be remembered for? It was like at one point in time, I want to be remembered for something. I was like, I think I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Showing I came back, battling my adversity that I've been through with my ACL. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I want to do out of LSU, and I wanted to stay in the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the names that we kept hearing pop up for you last year of a guy that you had formed a relationship with was Sean Eddy. Mm-hmm. The athletic trainer for LSU basketball. He's kind of a guy behind the scenes that nobody knows, but he's been there for 20-plus years. Can you talk about what that rehabilitation process was like for you, the relationship you formed with Eddie, and then maybe how much that meant to you sticking around here in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, I need to thank Sean Eddy a lot. He helped me stick around. Sean's my guy, man. It's like he's like the grandpa here for me. He's been with me every step of the way, literally every step. Mm-hmm.
Was it the Auburn game that he flew from Auburn to Los Angeles to meet you for rehab?
Yeah.
Out there? Yeah.
He was out there with me for like, I don't remember how long, however long it was. I was drugged up because of the pain. Yeah, he was out there. He was out there every step of the way. He went out there to meet the doctor's protocols. He'd been in touch with the doctor my whole rehab. And man, like I said, he's like the grandpa that you just always go to if you need some. You know what I'm saying? Your quads tight, your hamstring. He knows exactly what to do. Like, he's that guy. And for me, it's more than, you know what I'm saying, a PT. He's really like that guy. Like I said, like a guy for me. Like,
sure, we
got a real close relationship, and he was able to make that. Because I told him, like, I was like, Sean, you're going to have to be my best friend over this time. And he was like, yeah, I know. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my guy. But the process, man, it was hard, man. But you keep getting better. But for me, I'm an overachiever. So I get better, then I get upset because I'm still not where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's still like that because, like, I'm probably, like where I want to be, I'm probably, like, 75%. Yeah. Because I know I'm pro level. And I know when I have my pro level back. But I say I'm 75% where I want to be.
Do you have your bounce? Do you have your explosion?
I do, but they don't want me to dunk yet.
Yeah, but but mentally, you got it?
Yeah, I could, yeah.
So
like if I wanted to go up there and dunk,
you're full go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the emphasis for you this summer? What are you looking, besides the health, to improve on?
I think for me, I have like a timeline. Like they would still want to like hold me back, so they make sure I do everything the right way. Like I think like till like July, we're gonna work on just my mechanics to make sure it doesn't happen again. Like keep getting stronger, working on my cuts, working on I'm still doing my workouts, but like I don't know, Sean comes up with these drills, but it's like the little game within the game stuff, like making sure I trust it, cutting hard, going back door and finishing, stuff like that, or coming off a curl and making sure I plant and it really explode, you know what I'm saying, or a 2-foot hop, making sure I explode, so stuff like that. He progresses me more and more, and he's like baby feeding me because he knows, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not one of those guys you just got to push and do something. I'm always give 100%.
Sure. Adam Miller, Ace Wolf, joining us here. We ready over there, Stewie? You got a couple of pictures that we can pull up. I'm gonna bring up a couple of pictures here. When you see the face, when you see the person, just tell me what you think about him. We will start with your former teammate here from Illinois, Kofi Coburn.
Does it have to be a sentence or just
whatever you think? Yeah, what's first comes to mind?
Baby Shaq.
Baby Shaq.
I took an elbow from him one practice.
Come on. Ooh.
Yeah, I did.
Jaw.
Right on
Chest.
the nose.
Ooh.
Fell down. Right. Michigan. We played Michigan. The game we played Michigan. I went out. I got into it with one of our coaches too, because they were like, "Get up." I'm like, "Did you not just see me get
Give me a second."
Right.
Like, you come take an elbow from Kofi.
Right. He's gonna make it in the league, huh?
I believe so.
I agree. Next, what you got, Stewie? Darius Days.
Stacking days. That's my guy right there, man. You know, something about him. Man, he really was like the soul of the team, honestly. Like, we really went, and like if he had a good day, we were gonna have a good day. He was really the soul of the team last year. He was that guy.
Do you think he felt that? Like, did he know that he kind of, as the team went, he went? Like, every day he had to show up with that attitude?
I think he did. I think it got a little overwhelming sometimes, but I think he knew.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
What we got next?
Dubski. Dub and Wani. Bounce Man. Oh, I was just talking about this yesterday because Juice, Justice, he was showing me a clip. He had hit KJ with the hezzy, and KJ pulled his hamstring or something like that. And I was like, yeah, one practice I hit Mwani, I was going baseline. And Mwani's like a heat seeker, I swear to God.
Right.
He's coming, like, as soon as it goes up, he's
a football
coming
player.
two hands on the glass.
Right.
So it was one play, I kid you not, I faked it up. I did some spin move on the baseline. I did a 360 layup, spent it, and it went in off the glass. I'm going to have to find that clip and send it to you.
I need that clip.
I'm going to find
that clip. All right, where are we going next? All right, yeah, here you go. Here's Juice coming back.
Justice, my boy.
So those three, you guys are the three from the nucleus of last year coming back for this team. You, Justice, and Mwani. I'd imagine that's good conversation between the three of y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot, they were coming back before me, so it's kind of like I knew they were coming back. And I was like, maybe them coming back kind of made me feel a little bit like, dang, I probably could, you know what I'm saying? I could still, like, what am I, you know what I'm saying? I don't really need to go out and go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? I could still get it done here. So them coming back definitely helped me with my decision also.
Did they kind of recruit you as well? Like, were they a part of, like, your decision-making process?
See, in a way, I think they handled it right because they didn't really
put a lot of pressure.
They played cool, like, they didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we just are with each other, like, especially with them two. Like, they're probably the most chillest on the team, so, you know what I'm saying? They were cool about it. And I think that was also good. Like, even with the coaches, I was coming watching every workout because I'm like, I want to see how the coaches are. And, like, you know, it was a time where they recruited me heavy and, you know what I'm saying, we're really on it. But then there was a time where they chilled out and let me, you know what I'm saying, handle my business. So, yeah.
Dad.
What's that video? Boot the F up.
That's your guy, though, huh?
That's my guy.
Yeah.
For sure, for life. That's my guy.
How crazy did it get last year on that team?
Like, at what point?
Towards the end.
The outside pressure.
Man, I wasn't really even thinking about it much till we had one meeting, and then they told us. It was just crazy. Like, Jesus Christ. They just broke it down to us. And I mean, I feel like it could have been handled a little differently, but you know what it is, It's life. Everything's a business, you know?
Yeah,
so.
For sure. Matt McMahon, what was it like when the first time you met him, and how have you guys built that relationship?
The first time I met him, it was like, he reminded me of a coach I had in middle school, like my 8th grade coach. And that's one of my favorite coach. He reminded me a lot of him. And I appreciate him a lot because he has this word he uses, alignment. And he says, you know what I'm saying, if you want to be the best of the best and you want to get the best out of yourself, you have to have everything aligned, you know what I'm saying, off the court, on the court, school, workouts, you know, everything within those lines. And, you know, I'm like, his terms and his analogies and everything that he believes, and I'm like, you know, I kind of go with that. So our relationship just kept growing, and I kept asking him questions about Ja, you know what I'm saying, the team last year, how does he plan to see the season next season, and, you know what I'm saying, our relationship just kept continuing to grow, and I kept getting more comfortable.
It feels like y'all have a top 25 roster going into the season without any expectation. It just feels like y'all could be very competitive. As somebody who's probably going to be a key figure of that and the centerpiece of the offense, at least, what do you think of the roster he's put together in such a short time?
You know, I think, man, I hate rankings, but I love them because they get you TV time.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I think we're going to be better than people think. I don't know, because I know that it starts, you know, from now. Like, we're working out all together now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just get talent and have a good team. You have to form that team, and you have to, you know what I'm saying, you have to get the differences out. You have to bump heads sometimes. You have to work together. You have to find a way to get through a problem. You know what I'm saying? You have to problem solve together. And I feel like we have that. Like, for example, and I use this on any team I'm on, like that Baylor team that year they won it.
Yeah.
Nobody expected them to do that.
Yeah.
And that was and I always say college teams that win have veteran guards. So, and we have veteran guards, and we're going to have enough pieces to help us do what we got to do. As long as we do what we got to do, we're fine.
And the final picture, maybe the key ingredient of you coming back to LSU, as everybody saw this come out a couple of weeks. I believe this was right before your decision. Stewie, are we ready on this? Maybe the top recruiting guy that you had there, little Jordy Culotta.
Man, you know what's crazy? I was swarmed by like 50 kids as soon as I came home from a workout. And your son was like, let me get a picture. And I didn't even know it was your son. Right. So when you showed me the picture, I'm like, I'm glad that was the only kid I stopped to get a picture with. That was crazy.
It was. And there was video of him walking up to him. He's like, Adam, are you coming back or not?
Nah,
I'm like,
sure.
bro, dude,
yeah.
chill.
They had me dancing before that. Like, they were on the other side by Mike the Tiger, and they had me doing the gritty, all type of stuff on my way to tutoring.
Baton Rouge feel like home yet? I mean, do you feel comfortable down here?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the expectation for you this summer and the team?
That's a good question. I think for me, let's talk individual first. I think for me, it's just to get back to where I know I was, because it was a certain time where I had caught a rhythm. For me, I can do all these, like, I'm at a certain point where, you know what I'm saying, I am who I am, but I feel like what separates most people, well, for me, is consistency and rhythm. Yeah. I have consistency and rhythm with my workouts. I'm doing it daily. I'm continuing to work my mind and grow every day. That's when I'm my best, and that's when I feel like I'm unbreakable. You know what I'm saying? So just getting back to that, stacking days, and I feel like I'm gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm always want more, so I feel like even if let's say I was 80%, I don't think there's really another guard in the country that can, you know what I'm saying, keep up with my speed.
Absolutely.
And I'm not just talking about like acceleration or
no, I hear you.
Yeah, but for the team, for me, I think it is like, because you know what I'm saying, certain things that they're gonna baby feed me with, like on team stuff, but I'm going to be right there with them the whole way.
Did you get an idea of how competitive the SEC was night in, night out by your point of view last year?
Yeah,
just by watching?
Man, I wanted to play in it,
sure.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the league?
I got people on my list. Got teams on my list. I don't know if I should say it on air right
now.
You
should. Yeah, drop them.
Nah, I don't want no.
Giving real MJ vibes
over there. Nick Saban smoke right now. I don't want none of that. I'm gonna wait.
That's good, man.
I'm gonna give it to you though.
Yeah, please.
For sure.
It's great to see you.
Appreciate
Congratulations on your decision. I know you have a team breakfast at 8:30. How's that been, the team building process with so many new faces, new coaches? I know that there's a real emphasis on bringing you guys together a lot.
It's been good because these are good guys. You know what I'm saying? These are guys you want to be around. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that any other team I haven't been around hasn't had good guys, but these are like really like good guys. They love the game. And, they love to work. They come in and work, and you know what I'm saying? It's a battle, man. That's where I find out who, you know what I'm saying? Like last year, I could tell Tari was going to be good.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be that good.
Yeah, lottery pick, right.
But I could tell he was going to be good because when we came here, we were here to make a statement. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this is the time where I see, like, okay, I'm going to see who's going to really rock out with me. You know what I'm saying? Who's really going to make it, or who's going to be that X factor. You know what I'm saying?
It will be good to see number 44 back in action for LSU. That number alone, your name on the back of it, I think everybody is excited about. But you know and understand what that number means to the program, I know, in number 44.
Yeah.
And the number that you'll be wearing this year. Best of luck to you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Glad to see you back in purple and gold.
Yeah, thank you.
The ace, Adam Miller, Ace Wolf, back at LSU, going to be the centerpiece of the offense and a team going into the season that a couple of weeks back you thought, how can they be competitive? Now it looks like they'll be very competitive in the most competitive league. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Who's on the list?
I took that personally.
I need me to hear this conversation.
Hey, make sure you sign
What's up, Ross?
I said, let me know if y'all need me to not hear that conversation.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Great to catch up with one of the best. Ace Wolf, Adam Miller, coming back to LSU basketball in Baton Rouge for another season. There he is, number 44 on the way out, headed to the team breakfast this morning. We appreciate him stopping through. From LSU basketball, we go to our guy Ross Jackson, to the Locked On Saints podcast. Been telling you about it for weeks. This is a must-listen if you are a New Orleans Saints fan. Best part about it is that the content is there every day, and they're diving into topics that you want to hear about, like Jarvis Landry and Tyrann Mathieu throwing on the black and gold for the first time. How good did Mathieu look in the visor and the Jays? I mean, good Lord. How good was that, Ross? Good morning.
Good morning, man. No, it was too good is what it was. It was too good is what it was. I said in one of my episodes, like right after they had signed Tyrann Mathieu, I asked all the listeners, I said, take a pause, take a moment, and just think about this with me. The next time that Tyrann Mathieu takes an NFL field, he will be in the black and gold or the white and black or the white and gold, right? Whatever color he's wearing, but he's going to don a fleur-de-lis. And he's good. Yes. Yeah. Give me the ices. Yes. And so I love seeing it. You know, you love seeing it. And then of course to see him immediately post that photo and say, hey, I'm where I belong. You see him buying into.
No, that's as exciting as seeing him in is his mentality, his mindset of where he is to be here. And as fired up as we all were to see Mathieu in a Saints uniform and hear about Jarvis, I thought that the bigger news of the day was Jameis Winston, or just from OTAs. What did you take away from him being there, and kind of what did it tell you about the health and the offseason for him?
Yeah, I think it's all positive news. It's been interesting to sort of see the different ways that, you know, the story has kind of gotten like taken and looked at from different angles and everything. But the fact of the matter is that he's out on the field and he's out there and he's participating less than 7 months removed from that ACL injury that ended his season early in 2021. And I think that the things that you get from that are you get the fact that he's out there commanding the offense that he's going to lead in 2022. There's no quarterback competition this year. There's no Taysom Hill to compete with. There's no preseason having to battle it out and share snaps or anything like that, or sharing snaps with the first team, second team, all throughout training camp. There's none of that for Jameis this year. This year, it's his team from the get-go, and I think that that's a huge advantage for him, and it's a huge advantage for the guys that are going to be catching passes from him as well, like rookie Chris Olave, who's out there already getting some work in with the guy that's going to be throwing the ball in 2022. I think that value is endless, and the fact that he's out there at all and participating at this point is remarkable.
You talk about value. We found a little value ourselves on this user sportsbook. There's a gambler that put $2K to win $100K on Jameis Winston to lead the NFL in passing yards. Should we all hop on? Are you on board with this thing?
I'm not mad at it. If I'm being honest.
Was it you?
Yeah, I've been found out, guys. I've been found out. No,
Ross Jackson.
I think it's that's right. I think that it's one of those bets to where, I mean, if you don't have $2,000, but you got, you're looking for something to throw $10 on and forget about, exactly. Like that's one of those bets that I would take at this point. I mean, the biggest question is, can he remain healthy coming off the ACL injury? And that's not a Jameis Winston question. That is a ACL recovery question, right? Adrian Peterson went and ruined ACLs for everybody because now it feels like you can come off of an ACL and almost break the it almost break the what was a season rushing record and everything. But you're not going to have that all the time. And so I think that's the biggest question is, can he be out there for all 17 games? But with the way that his recovery is looking, with the doctors that he's been working with and everything, there's a good, and of course with Matt Rhea in there too, who the Saints brought in as their director of sports science, who once Alabama bought into his practices, they reduced soft tissue injuries by 50% with his leadership. And so now you look at Jameis coming back from this injury, and it puts him in a situation with the weapons that he has around him, including the new wide receiver core, Michael Thomas coming back, Jarvis Landry being added, Chris Olave being drafted, with Alvin Kamara still coming out the backfield. We'll see what the suspension is. I think, or if there's a suspension or whatever that situation ends up being, I'm not mad at the bet at all. I mean, there's a good chance he's got the weapons to get it done. It's just, does he have the ability to stay on the field, which I think he's on his way there for sure.
How much do you think his game changes with the addition of Pete Carmichael as head coach?
It's an interesting question. I think that there's two things that change his game a little bit. I think that it's Pete Carmichael calling the plays. I think that will be a big part of it. But I think the other piece of it is him having to effectively really focus in on his short and intermediate area passing over the course of the offseason, because he's been limited in terms of what he can do while recovering and rehabbing from this injury. He hasn't been able to push the ball, 50, 60 yards down the field since he's been limited throughout his recovery. So I think that becomes a big part of it. You saw that one game last year that everybody blew up about Alvin Kamara not getting any catches, and then the next game he comes back and throws 10 passes to Alvin Kamara or something like that. I think that sort of narrative kind of gets dulled a little bit because of the fact that he'll have spent so much time getting fine-tuned in his short and intermediate field accuracy, that I think that's going to be a big part of where you'll see his game change a little bit, to where he'll be able to continue to move the sticks, move the chains, but then still be able to take the top off when the time is right.
I know Mike Thomas was in the building and he wasn't on the field, but we talk about these wide receivers and seeing Olave out there. Do you get an idea of how these roles will be divvied up with what looks like a wide receiver core a couple of weeks ago that looked non-competitive in the league, and now it looks like one of the best. It looks like one of the best in the NFL.
Yeah, real massive uptick in talent at that position for sure. I would say, Michael Thomas continues to be your split end, your X receiver that will continue to dominate underneath and in the intermediate areas. Over the middle, for instance, running sort of those deeper digs, those over routes that the Saints really like in their offense. He'll continue to be that, just like he was in 2019, the part of 2020 that he was able to play. And I think maybe you start to see his game open up downfield a little bit more with Jameis Winston as well. But I think the focus is going to be where he has his strength. Same thing for Jarvis Landry. He's a guy that 11% of his catches last year came in a situation, according to reception perception, in which he was in the open field, and he went down on 50% or less than 50% of his first contact with a defender. So, that means that he's able to take some of those 5-yard slant routes and turn those into 7-8 yards on first down, which puts you in a really advantageous situation moving ahead and kind of getting ahead of schedule. So I think that he helps you there, probably operating out of the slot quite a bit. Probably 25 to 30% of Michael Thomas's snaps would come in the slot as well. But Chris Olave becomes your guy that could take the top off. You've got two viable deep threats right now in Chris Olave, and then the best kept secret that remains Deontay Hardy. And I think that those guys continue to be somebody, players that they stretch the field with, that they simply use for clear out purposes, which is something that defenses haven't had to respect last year and maybe even the year before that when Michael Thomas was dealing with his injury. So it opens up a lot of the underneath stuff. Plus you get that speed that you can use on those post routes, the double moves, the outside moves, all of that you get with Chris Olave, all of that continues to be something that's really, a part of the game that the Saints haven't really had, maybe since Brandon Cooks when they drafted him in 2014. So they've been starving for that in their offense, and now they have it.
Locked On Saints podcast, make it a daily listen. Ross Jackson is the host. It's there every single day for you, wherever you pick up your podcast. I believe it was earlier this week I was listening to a show, and you were breaking down the defensive line. And it's a group that has stars, right? I mean, it's got Cam Jordan. It's got David Onyemata. It's got guys that you expect to be headline players on this group. As far as the depth goes in the interior of that defensive line, Ross, how do you like it going into the season, or I guess going into the offseason?
I think the depth is going to be very good. The biggest question is going to be who is the player that kind of rises to the top to take those starting snaps next to David Onyemata. You can probably pencil in Shai Tuttle there, but you've got other guys that are returning like Malcolm Roach, and then you have an Albert Huggins. You have the free agents that are coming in like Kentavious Street, as well as Jaleel Johnson. They drafted Jordan Jackson, who's incredibly athletic coming out of the Air Force Academy. So there's going to be a lot of rotation and competition on the interior throughout camp, I would imagine. And so the interesting thing will be to see who rises to the top. The thing to remember when it comes to Dennis Allen's defense, Ryan Nielsen's defensive line, is that they rotate like crazy. Like they rotate and switch these guys out like hockey teams. So on that same episode, I mentioned that's maybe the third thing that I know about hockey. There's not a lot to know about hockey, but I know that those lineups change rapidly, and that they switch out like 4 or 5 guys at a time.
Define icing.
And you, I couldn't.
No way. Couldn't
icing is what goes on cake.
Right.
That's what I got.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. No, you're good. No. So I think that, that becomes a big piece of it, is that depth becomes really helpful for them when you get into the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and you're still trying to put pressure on the quarterback from the interior. Can you find that legitimate pass rusher that, because of the rotation, keeps fresh legs quarters 1 through 4, and then ends up impacting the game on third downs, that ends up impacting the game on the 10th play of a long drive, that ends up impacting the game in the fourth quarter and in the 55th minute? Like, those are going to be the big things to really watch, and they'll have to designate who that guy is next to David Onyemata. But I think that once they figure that out, the depth that comes in behind is going to be able to have a massive impact.
Thoughts on Peyton Turner here in year 2? Do you even qualify it as year 2? It almost feels like you didn't see him last year.
Yeah, it becomes one of those situations where you kind of wonder if he can win Rookie of the Year like Ben Simmons, right? Taking a full season off, basically, or being away for a full season. But I think that, the thing when it comes to Peyton Turner is that if you get him back and he's healthy and he's who you expect him to be because of all of those traits that he has, he's got the length, he's got the speed, he's got the agility, he bends really well. He does a lot of things and arcs really well. He does a lot of things well in terms of what you're looking for, and particularly the New Orleans Saints build or prototype of defensive ends and edge rushers, that if you get him back and he's healthy, then all of a sudden, that's a first round talent that you just recouped out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden he ends up again rotating right along that defensive line with Cam Jordan and Marcus Davenport and Carl Granderson, and maybe even a guy like Taco Charlton, who could see his career, get another opportunity in New Orleans. And so you have this sort of band of edge rushers that I think is going to be a little bit underrated and maybe even underestimated to an extent. But if you can add Peyton Turner there, and he's able to stay healthy throughout that 2022 season, he has all the skills, he has all of the tangibles and intangibles to be really impactful for New Orleans, even if it's not on a down 1 through 3 basis, but you put him in as a situational pass rusher on a 3rd and long where you're going to send the house and take those risks that Dennis Allen likes to take over on defense, then all of a sudden he ends up being somebody that can impact a game for you. And so it'll be interesting to see if he can stay healthy, get out on the field. He's rehabbing right now, not participating in the first session of OTAs. We'll see what happens as the second session we're in the middle of the second session today. So he'll be one to watch, is the way that I would say it, because if he can be healthy and get out on the field, he's a good gain for New Orleans.
Anything you're looking for in particular after seeing OTAs the first session here in the second session?
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what's going to shake out at that tight end position. That's the big one that stands out to me, because we talk all the time about the wide receiver group that the Saints kind of revamped. We know what Alvin Kamara brings to the team, but the tight end group is one that it may be the biggest sort of question mark in terms of what that depth chart looks like right now. I think you can pencil in Adam Troutman as the guy that is probably your starter, maybe even your veteran and Nick Vanette. But is Taysom Hill going to be ready to go by the beginning of the season, coming off about that Liz Frank injury. That varies so much in terms of recovery time. Juwan Johnson had some really nice moments last year, but he's only got 1 year at the position. Now you've got undrafted free agent Lucas Kroll, who's come in and is already starting to make some waves during OTAs. He's coming in at 6'6", 253 pounds, and he moves extremely well. 4.67 40 time coming in. He's up there in terms of the athletic scores and all of that. And then you look at his smoothness in and out of routes. He does a lot of things really well. So can he be somebody that all of a sudden upsets that, tight end room a little bit and maybe, vaults guys like Juwan Johnson, maybe even vaults a veteran like Nick Vanette, who the Saints don't necessarily have to pay this season if they don't want to, right? They could save some money by moving on from him, especially now that we're post June 1, technically in terms of those cut transactions, which defer some of the dead money spending to future years. And so I think that him, and then they added in Kahale Waring, who I really liked coming out of the draft in 2020 out of San Diego State. So it'll be that's the position that I'm really watching, and that'll be the one that I'm paying attention to most throughout the remainder of OTAs and even going into minicamp and training camp as well, because I don't know that it's going to be any clearer by then.
Any more signings to look out for?
Odell Beckham Jr.
Quan.
That's it. That's the only one. No, I would say probably watching out for, veteran running backs, maybe even veteran linebackers. Those are the two positions that the Saints tend to bring in a lot of looks over the course of the offseason. You look at the veterans that they've brought in at running back before that include guys like Mike Gillislee, and they brought in Shane Vereen a couple years ago. Last year, you saw them bring in Devontae Freeman. So they've consistently gotten a look at some of those veteran running backs. The Alvin Kamara question is still one that hangs in the balance, right? We're 2 months away now from his hearing. So that process is not moving very quickly. So I don't know that any kind of suspension is going to impact the beginning of the year, but it would be good. And the Saints usually like to kind of get a catalog and get a look at some of these guys during training camp, even if the intent isn't to, that they make the 53, but that they could potentially get a phone call later on. There are more veterans now that can be added to your 16-man practice squad as well. So that would be a reason to get a look at that. Same thing at the linebacker spot, where the Saints usually bring in a couple of veterans to get a look as well.
It may be too early to tell, but is there a definite difference in the coaching staff now that in the post Sean Payton era?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're watching now the sort of defensive mind step into the leadership role, but there's a lot of continuity. And I think a couple of things that I would say stand out the most that are kind of left over from what Sean Payton's stamp is on the organization came out in, Zach Strief, for instance, when he talked a little bit with Brooke Kirchhoffer during the Golf Classic about how, a guy like Trevor Penning is coming in. He's a first-round pick, but he's not guaranteed a spot. So he'll have to compete with James Hurst for left tackle. And if, let's say, Trevor Penning wins that, then James Hurst has the opportunity to compete for, any of the other 4 spots that might be open. So there's all of these sort of remainders or these things that remain when it comes from Sean Payton's attitude about it doesn't matter where you got drafted, how you made the team, you always get a shot and you always get to compete within this system. And during training camp and all that, your draft status or undrafted status goes away once you get into the facility. And we've heard, people talking about that being a part of the New Orleans Saints since 2006. So it's interesting to see that remain, and I think a positive thing. It helps that Zach Strief was a player in that system, right? And then also sort of had that same opportunity granted to him as a late round selection himself. And so I think that's a big piece of what you see remain. But, I think the co-defensive coordinator conversation is going to be a big one over the course of the offseason, how those responsibilities all dole out. What does it look like for Dennis Allen to go from coaching and focusing on the defense to sort of having a little bit more of the overall umbrella of the team? So some things there will inherently change, but there's a lot of those principles and sort of tenets of the New Orleans Saints system and organization that still remain post-Payton.
All signs still positive around Mike Thomas, right? I know he's not on the field, but he's in the building.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge piece. I mean, we talked last time about the buy-in, right? Him reaching out to Chris Olave and inviting him out to California so they could work out together for, a week and a half. Cody Burns and Dennis Allen taking trips to go and visit him. The fact that he's in the facility. Remember last year, they didn't find out that the surgery didn't happen until mandatory minicamp, right? So now you're in a situation where you're going through your early sessions and phases of OTAs. You're in the second phase of the offseason, and he's already in your facility. He's rehabbing with your doctors. He's working with your director of sports science. So all of that is positive. And I don't think that there should be any expectation to really see him out on the field very much until training camp. And even training camp may be a ramp up by then. And some of that comes down to whatever the team's schedule is, whatever that medical schedule is as dictated by the team. And some of it, of course, is a part of that rehabilitation and recovery for Michael Thomas.
Ross Jackson, he is the host of the Locked On Saints podcast, which we are subscribed to and we listen to every single day. Make sure and get your content from Ross. Follow him on Twitter at Ross Jackson NOLA. Subscribe to the podcast at Locked On Saints podcast that you can find anywhere you get your podcast from. Apple, Spotify, you can find it there. We appreciate it as always, bro. We'll talk again soon.
Wait. Before you go.
Hey, bro.
The Madden cover drops at 9. Who do you have on the cover?
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's got to be John Madden.
Oh, you think so?
Boom. It has to be John Madden.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the only option.
Yeah. RJ, have a great day, bro. It's good to see you.
Hey, appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for having me on. I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, man. There he is, Ross Jackson checking in from Locked On Saints podcast. Make sure and check that out. Remember, our friends over at Cajun Ready Mix Concrete can get you ready today. No project too big, too small for our friends over at Cajun Ready Mix. Online at CajunRMC.com. CajunRMC.com is the website that you can go through, check out whether it's a residential project, industrial, commercial, municipal. They'll get you out. They'll help you out today. They got 9 concrete plant locations around the South Baton Rouge and Baton Rouge area, which means that they'll have your concrete to you on time to the exact specification. Cajun Ready Mix is online at CajunRMC.com, CajunRMC.com. We're back with more, closing it out here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Boom.
Gotta be mad.
And here's a guy.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard.
Hey y'all, it's Mikey from Mic'd Up. Catch us live every Monday and Wednesday, 11 to 1. Talk gambling, talk sports, have a ton of guests in here, get a little perspective from the athlete side of it. We got Lloyd in the house, Jay Mitch is in here a lot of the time. It's a fun show, great show. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you don't like it, it's fine. Make fun of us, it's okay. Just get us out there, share us out there. We're having fun, we want to share our fun with you. Like I said, Mic'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Every Monday through Wednesday, 11 to 1. Catch us live on YouTube, baby. See y'all.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com.
Jesus Christ, that right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay? I gotta go up to his office. I gotta put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands.
But they've been asking for their mail on a daily basis. It's all they're talking about up there.
Because the mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you gotta get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. And then the barcode reader breaks, and it publishes clearinghouse.
All right.
I can't believe I'm gonna be a mailman.
All right, welcome back to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Full crew here, mailbag segment. Appreciate the ace, Adam Wolf, coming through here today. Also, Ross Jackson, talking a little New Orleans Saints. If you missed it, check it out. All of it brought back to you by our friends over at RMB Builders. Rhett Bourgeois and the crew, rmb-builders.com. Custom design home. You need anything done around the house, around the office, or commercially licensed as well. Check out the website, rmb-builders.com. Rhett Bourgeois and our crew, rmb-builders.com. Ask for your mailbag questions. You send them in. Here's what we got. Bree, what you got?
Andrew Messina asked, is Jay Mitch a part of the FM crew? He and Mikey work well together. That interview with Coach Kelly was great. Jay Mitch should have his own show and be good at it.
I believe that Jay Mitch he's no doubt he's in. And I don't think that his own show is a possibility. I think he's the co-host of Mic'd Up permanently. And they work great together. Jay Mitch is one of those guys. He's a hybrid. He can cross over. He can talk a lot of things. And that Monday show inside of Champions Plaza, inside of the Champions Room over at Alec Box Stadium, was about as good as programming as we've done here at FM Digital Media. Everybody's show, all shows. I mean, that was a real testament to the relationships that Mikey has with the new staff, Jared Mitchell and the new staff, and then the crew over here, Lloyd, Joe Rodriguez, putting that together. That was stellar content, and I know that they are. If you're looking for college baseball news around LSU, I mean, Mic'd Up is. I don't know how you could go anywhere else, or at least start the conversation there. So yes, Jay Mitch is a part of FM Digital Media family, and he is a permanent co-host of Mic'd Up. What else we got, Bree?
Hughes Bowden, I probably pronounced that so wrong, but he said Pels trade up or trade down in the draft.
Ooh. I don't know if they trade at all. Where are they at? 8?
8. Yeah. I think they're in pretty good position.
They are. I would not like to see them give up any assets on their team. I love the way that they're built and constructed, and from a need standpoint, I think you're playing with house money.
You wouldn't flip 8 for a veteran shooter? That's what they need.
Yeah. Depends on who's on the market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I saw last summer at this time, I would have done anything for Kyle Lowry. Lowry looked like he was me out there the last 2 months of the season. So I mean, you might as well have given me. You might as well have given me the $40 million. You know what I mean? Is it great ass?
I think it's just a little thick. Yeah, he might be a little too thick.
Yeah, he's fat. Out of shape, bro. He's not skinny fat. He's like
fat.
You know what I mean?
Like can't move fat.
Damn, bro. The ass on that professional athlete.
That's all I see.
Guys carrying a wagon over here,
man.
And I think CJ McCollum is going to do something
he got picked up with ESPN.
Yeah,
he's going to be an analyst on the finals. I don't know, man. I wouldn't mess too much with the Pelicans. I'm kind of curious on how Zion fits in. You know what I mean? One of the best players in the world.
He fits.
I know he does.
I know
he does. But I mean,
it's a relative term.
Just the chemistry standpoint. You know what I mean? And look, 82 games is a long season, and I think that I'm probably overemphasizing the chemistry part because I think when you're a professional athlete, you just play. You know what I mean? Like you just show up and you do your job and you play. And as long as they're doing that in the off season, all that stuff will kind of work itself out. You figure out where roles are and who's who and what responsibilities people have to one another and to the team. So I don't know if I'd move at all unless they have something that they absolutely are pointed at and they know they want to go get. Maybe I'd like to see a list of the veteran shooters that they would make a run at, but otherwise, man, I would make the safest pick, take the best player at 8, put it alongside this team. I mean, you get Kyra Lewis back, who we haven't talked about a lot.
Right.
Who's coming back? Zion will be back in the mix.
Melo's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony.
No chance.
He's a shooter.
Get the hell out of here. Volume shooter, clanging off the back of the rim. He can't even run up and down the floor.
We don't need him to. He's got to get the 3-point line.
No defense.
Zero.
Sit in the corner.
What did Patrick Beverly call Chris Paul? A parking cone?
Yes.
That would be a compliment to Carmelo. I mean,
no defense
that
at
dude
all.
is nothing on that side of the floor. I mean, it's 4-on-5. What else we got, Bree?
I really like this one. Brian Burgess asks, favorite summertime activity?
Exercise.
Beach.
Is that your favorite summertime
No,
activity?
but I feel
Exercise?
like Burgess works out a lot.
I think he's a
runner.
4:35 a.m. runner. I swore I saw him.
He smelled you
a couple of weeks back. Sorry. Beach. Yeah, beach.
Yeah, beach.
Pool.
Little relief med.
Favorite beach?
Pool.
The beach.
Favorite beach? Dude, it's tough to beat Destin.
I've never been to Destin.
Really?
It's
never
nice.
been. Panama City.
It's a destination.
So you've
Pensacola.
gone past Destin.
Just fluffy white sand, bro. You know what I mean?
I'll
Clean
take it.
sand.
Have you ever been to
Clean
Grand
water.
Isle?
Oh my god.
Brutal sand.
Talk about a beach.
That's not even a beach. That's
It's
just mud and mud water.
It ripped up my feet.
Yeah, it'll rip you up.
I got city feet.
Yeah, it'll rip you
Speaking
up.
of Grand Isle, Sycamore Point. That's where I'm from. That's what we have.
Biloxi's not much better than
It's
Grand
almost
Isle.
like
No,
that.
it's not.
No, it's not.
Still brown water. Better
Yep.
sand, but brown water.
Exactly. You don't really get good
telling
beach
you, man.
until like Gulf Shores.
Right.
The best sand in the world is on the Emerald Coast.
Yeah,
Is on
it's crazy.
Is on from Gulf Shores to like Fort Walton, Destin, Sandestin, even like down to like Rosemary Beach is as good. I mean, like California beaches suck.
Yeah.
I heard the water is like insanely cold.
It's very cold, and all the
it
beaches are like
stinks.
rocky and
Yes.
gravelly and
very different.
dirty sand, and you can't really like
You can't relax.
just lay down in the
No,
sand.
no,
You know what I
no.
mean? Just like throw something down and just like plop down in the sand. I'm not hating on the West Coast. They got, you know what I mean? Like it's beautiful. Just the
To look
the
at.
sight at it. Yeah, absolutely. Go catch a sunset on a West Coast beach, and I mean it's beautiful. But as far as like the beach, like the experience. To me, I mean, bro, the Emerald Coast is untouchable.
I agree.
Untouchable.
Yeah, it's good.
Untouchable.
South
I mean, I hadn't
Beach is
done
good,
like
too.
Capri in Italy or anything yet. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, what's
This
it called?
He's crawfishing.
Pasta.
This is your arena, dude. You're the Italian. How do you say DiGiacomo?
Diagicamo?
DiGiacomo?
South Beach in Miami is good beach too.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
I like that.
Never
beach.
been to
Tons
Miami
of
either.
action.
Me either.
Yeah, the Keys are pretty good.
I heard the Caribbean's not a bad beach at all. The Virgin Islands is
Positano.
nice.
Oh.
Positano.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I saw a picture of that on Twitter. It was really nice. It's really nice. I want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
Got to get out the country.
You do.
Yeah, heard they love me on overseas.
Family. I mean, we could do Positano, bro.
Yeah.
We could.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
Zoom in.
Let's do it.
We're doing football season in Positano. Who wants to sponsor us? Gino, we're calling you.
That would be amazing.
I mean, that's the coast.
That's
easy.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, come on now.
Cliff
Somebody
diving off my
sponsor this
crib.
trip.
I gotta have a cousin somewhere in there.
You definitely have somebody.
Just travel and go. The Culotta
looks up
Culotta
Italian.
to here to see Culotta?
Italian phone book.
Yeah.
Culotta.
She's unlisted.
Samsonite. Here it is.
Slippy, slappy, Swanson.
Very Samsonite.
Any more, Bree?
It's on the briefcase.
Who asked this one? William Ivy. I like this one. Has Lloyd ever considered shaving the stash and getting a haircut?
No. I look like a lesbian without a mustache.
If he cuts that hair off, I think he'll show that he's starting
Oh,
to lose it. Oh, look at Peyton,
Look
dude.
how strong.
Wow.
I got a huge forehead.
You
That's
trying to sell me a Vizio?
With a big screen?
Yeah, right.
Big ball.
You see the,
Yes.
see the
It's
reflection on
fine.
your forehead.
He was trying to tell me, he's like, oh, look at the little widow's peak up there. It's like, it's always looked like this.
That's a big head, bro.
It's a big, huge head. Big
forehead. Forehead.
Big head.
Yeah, right. Forehead. Any more? So is that a no? That's a hard no.
That's a hard no.
That's a hard no.
The hair we can explore, but the mustache stays forever.
No, not forever. You'll shave it.
I used to shave my head in high school. We got in so much trouble about the length. I just went, you know what? I just checked out and shaved my head and came back. I was like, I'm done talking to y'all.
Shave your head and your face.
No. Okay. No, I look like a newborn.
It sounds like it sounds like a losing bet
It
proposition.
does. Do you want to do you want to place a bet?
For as many futures as you're pricing here, man.
That might be another future.
Yeah, it's a future.
I'll do anything for a bet.
Okay.
I will. And
Okay.
unlike everybody else on this show, I own my bets.
That's true.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
What's it gonna be? What's the consequence?
I feel like me and you should make a bet, Lloyd.
We should.
But I'm not cutting my hair. I'm just let you know.
Oh.
Cutting the hair or the beard.
You can
Sorry.
shave your beard.
Ah, wow. See,
No.
to me, that's what
that's a bet.
that's what consequences should be in a bet for somebody that says, I'm not
not
doing
doing
that.
it.
Well,
Can't do it.
you know what? If you lose the bet, you got to do it.
Yep. See, I would still they do that for fantasy football when they go take the ACT or something
See,
like
I would do that.
I would still go in there. I would try to take it. I would see what I would
Yeah.
get. I would actually take it seriously. I wouldn't study.
Did you see the story between Jock Peterson and his teammate over the fantasy football stuff? And he slapped him in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. They asked Jock about it. He goes, "Yeah, it happened." He couldn't even run away from it. He's like, "Yeah, we all saw
Why
it."
did he slap him in the
He's
face?
mad
Over,
because
fantasy football.
He's mad because Jock Peterson would put his players were injured, so he put him on the injured reserve list, and then whenever he'd come back, he'd bring him back off the injured reserve list. And the guy was like, "That's unfair. You can't do that." And he slapped him for it because
ever
Jock
been slapped?
Peterson was winning.
Did we talk about this yesterday? Was that off air?
By another
Yeah.
man?
by anybody.
No, I've been slapped before, but I mean, I would think that getting slapped by another man is
I'd rather
almost
get punched.
as
Yeah.
emasculating as is that the worst thing you can do to somebody? Or I guess spit on somebody would be the worst.
Or I hate when people poke me.
Poke you,
Ooh,
Yeah.
but
Like
a
slap
poke
you.
in the forehead.
Like
Slap.
a slap is that's
aggressive.
That's a large amount of disrespect.
Yeah,
Have
You
you
know
been
what I mean?
slapped by a man?
Not by a man.
You've been slapped by a woman?
Yes.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
You left
Did
a
you
mark?
deserve it?
100%.
Yeah, I think we were off air when we talked about this.
Yeah.
Because you've been slapped, right?
No.
No, you've not.
No.
I have.
You have.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
definitely been slapped before.
So the slap
PTSD.
on Peterson is actually caught on film.
Yeah. It was pregame.
Tommy Pham, who is a teammate of Jock Peterson, slapped him across the
Former
head and was
teammate.
suspended for 3 games because of a lingering resentment from a rule regarding IR designation in their fantasy football league. It spilled over into real life, and Pham attacked him during pregame. I mean, that is amazing.
Dude, talk about holding. Baseball players have the longest memory of all time. They hold a grudge more than any other athlete, except for maybe Adam Miller, who's got a list.
Or Michael Jordan.
I took that personally.
I'm not
The
taking it
glove.
personally.
We are rewatching The Last Dance inside of our house.
I think I'm.
I am too.
I was thinking about doing
I've
that
been
too.
rewatching
That's
it.
weird.
We went back to it.
I think I need to. Just
good.
to,
You
just
forgot
to go
some of the
through it.
stories.
Yeah. Just to
I
go
mean,
through it again.
It
The
happened.
emotions.
It was so much
Yes.
at once that you're just like, this is incredible.
unbelievable.
It's definitely
Yes.
worth a rewatch.
God, you forgot how petty he was.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's unreal how petty he was.
I don't think he's okay.
He's not.
Like,
From a competitive standpoint?
Yeah, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
He's got to have I think most athlete, Tiger Woods has something wrong with him.
Yeah.
If he sat down with his
I think
mother.
it's probably obsessive compulsive, right?
It's got to be some
Something
sort of
like that.
diagnosis.
OCD? Yeah, something
It's like
like
an
that.
OCD type of where it's just
I got receipts.
it's relentless too.
He makes it up.
Yeah, he makes it up.
Well, naked fun is back. I guess it's because we talked about slapping each other.
Ooh, slapping. That's kind of
Spit on me.
kinky. Spit in my mouth.
Slapper or spitter?
Just follow
Have a great day. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here on this Wednesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mic'd Up coming up 11 o'clock this morning. 11 to 1 here on
and changing time soon.
FM Digital Media. That's
When
right.
does that change happen?
Monday.
Next Monday.
Okay.
6 to 8.
6 to 8 p.m. Mic'd Up going into the evenings. Happy hour with Mikey. And then they're back with you Friday at Uncle Earl's too. So make plans if you're looking for a spot to set up this week. Uncle Earl's. And
when does the regional start? Do you know?
the regional starts 6 o'clock. LSU plays Kennesaw State.
We'll be at Earl's.
At Hattiesburg. In Hattiesburg. Have a great day. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Go Chevrolet.
Help me.